Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. So happy to have you here today with me. Thank you so much for dropping in. Check me out on my other YouTube channel, P. Deine Deutsch. I speak German on this channel. I'm trying to better my German. I haven't lived in Germany in many years. I have slowly started to lose my ability. So I'm kind of using it as a learning channel for me and my German teacher to talk about stories in the news within Germany and over here in the States. So check it out if you want to kind of catch me doing a little bit something. So the most recent news with Harry and his wife, train wreck Meghan runs off the rails. So Prince Harry's obsessed actress wife Meghan has a new starring role, Hollywood laughing stock. And that's unfortunate because I know as an actor myself, it's so hard to deal with ridicule and to be looked at as a laughing stock. And I don't know how Meghan is taking it, but I know me personally, if I had done what she had done on Ellen, I would be very embarrassed. And as actors, we're fragile people anyway. We are very sensitive people and we want to be liked. We want to be well received. And this could really mean very bad hardships right now for Meghan and Harry right now, considering the backlash that they're getting over this Ellen interview. But if Meghan were smart, she could look at this as a learning moment. She could look at this as a way to kind of step back and look at what she's done and better herself. You know how like when you hit the bottom of something and the only other way is to go up? Well, perhaps she can go up from here, but what will happen now? I don't know, but I see it as not a good thing mentally for this to be the headlines that are being talked about with Meghan and Harry, because they're already on a fragile playing field right now, and things could just be tipped over with them because of all the issues that they're facing outside of their own money making that they have to do. So after her really bizarre appearance on Ellen DeGeneres, it really did not boost her image. It had the complete opposite effect on her career. And especially because she's royalty, it undermined her as a royal by falling for this, and people in Hollywood are really seeing it for what it really was. And to me, this is a sign that this is not good for their relationship, period. It's just going to be like, how do you come up from this now? And so instead of boosting her desired image as a family-friendly, down-to-earth Duchess, Meghan's cringe-worthy TV antics exposed her as a pretentious phony, says a source. So now showbiz power players are running for the hills from the money-hungry Suits star and the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Royal relatives are cutting the Tinseltown social climbers dead dished insiders. So Meghan's wacky TV appearance was an unforgivable disaster. And the royals, especially Prince William and Catherine, are appalled. What has she done? So people in Hollywood can see this for what it is. And it could be a different story still for Black Hollywood. I don't know that Meghan wants to even work in Black Hollywood. She definitely wants to be within the white Hollywood. She's not going to want to be cast in the Tyler Perry movie. She's not going to want to take that avenue because she's never identified as a Black woman. So where is this going to get her, and where is this going to get Harry, knowing, look, like he on vacation? Like this ain't home for him. This is not home for Harry. So we'll just have to wait and see. But this is what's been coming out is that people are really essentially running from Harry and Meghan, and how are they going to recover from it? And it's so unfortunate yet again because everything that Meghan and Harry are doing inadvertently represents the queen. The actresses do this kind of stuff, not somebody who's royalty. I think their marriage is going to suffer from this. So she's going to get work by producing and creating her own content, or by working within Black Hollywood, because they still loving on Meghan, Black Hollywood. And I just know this from my own personal experiences with Black people that I know in Hollywood that tell me. So she can find her redemption within Black Hollywood, but will she accept it? We'll have to wait and see. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about, this whole thing around Meghan's brother, Thomas Jr., who wrote this letter of apology to Meghan. And I want to talk about this only because he wrote such a good letter in the beginning of the relationship that pretty much summed up everything that had happened. Like, he nailed it. And then people were like, well, shoot, he knew what he was talking about, didn't he? They were like, man, we shouldn't have been getting on him like he was being mean, because everything he said came true. But now this backtracking, this now apology, what? You think your sister is going to now be like, oh, you sorry? Okay, you sorry. Come here, big brother. That is not going to happen. I don't know why he backtracked and apologized, but we'll see. Let's look at what he said in his letter. Now, in 2008, prior to the wedding between Meghan and Harry, the Duchess's half-brother wrote this letter to the Duke criticizing his sister for informing the royal that it was just informing Harry basically that it was not too late. It's like, look, it's not too late, man. Don't do it. You don't know what you're getting ready to do, man. I'm warning you. Listen to me. It's like the fire alarms were going off. He like laid it all out in black and white. Look, this is what's going to happen, man. But, you know, of course, people were looking at Thomas Jr. like, get him out of here. He crazy. We want to see our royal wedding. We ain't going to listen to him. So we all know that he's on Big Brother, right? He says, I want both of you to know it did not come from the real person that I am, but came from a very dark and hurt part of my heart. I am not a mean person at all, and I have more love inside me to give than anything. So Thomas Jr., he then went on to claim that the original letter was written out of hurt and confusion upon the alleged learning that Meghan described him as a distant family member. So let's get this straight, you guys. So when he heard Meghan say, oh, that's a distant family member, like, I don't even hardly know him, Thomas Jr. was like, what, me? What? She talking about me like she don't hardly know me? Oh, no, she didn't. And then he was starting to write, and he was like, this is wrong. Cause see, look, she tripping already, y'all. She tripping. So he goes on to say, I was very hurt and I was confused because of the amazing bond and relationship we shared growing up together. And all I could do was put up a defense wall to protect my heart. I know that it was a very immature and wrong thing, and I truly regret it. So when he wrote that, essentially he's saying, he wrote it because he felt offended by how she treated him. He's sorry for writing it, but what I said was true. Okay, he's just sorry he wrote it. Let's keep it real. He also struggled with the instant attention that came with being, having this relationship with Harry. Immediately, he was known to the whole world by the flip of a switch. It was like, she got a half brother, okay? And then, everybody was going up and prowling into his life and his background. And, how is he supposed to deal with that? How is anyone supposed to deal with that? What about the father? What about the sister? It was like there were things that were happening that they weren't prepared to deal with. And so how did he deal with it? He wrote this letter that he regrets now writing. Along with everyone in our family, we became public figures overnight, and we had no more privacy. And let me tell you, it is very, very stressful to deal with that all alone and no help at all. That can be really troublesome to immediately have that celebrity like that, and your world is turned upside down. But where was the assistance to help the family deal with this? because we know that Meghan had the resources to support that. But there was no support given to deal with this celebrity, this instant celebrity. Knowing what he knows now, he would turn back the clock if he could. I would never have tried to communicate any of my feelings in the media, what I have done, and I am truly sorry for that. He said, Meg, if I could turn the clock back, I would truly tell you, I am so proud of you, and I truly am so happy for you and Harry, and I love you. And I can appreciate him saying this, I really can. But is Meghan the kind of person that will accept an apology? We see how she treats her father, who's apologized so many times. Is this apology really going to be worth it for him? I think in the long run, it's good for him to apologize for doing that, but no one blames him for doing that. Not people who see it for what it is, because we can see he wrote this letter and it was something that he regrets doing, but at the same time, it wasn't just frivolous making up stuff. He was pretty accurate in the things that he said. So there is some validation there as well, but not for his relationship with his sister, because it gives her an excuse to not want to have a relationship with him because of what he did, putting this information in the media. If anything, that's what he regrets, not being able to have this relationship anymore with his sister, because there was at one time a relationship. Knowing that she doesn't want to speak to her own father or her father's children. Once she met Harry, he could have never wrote this letter and it'd still be the same thing. It was like, it's like a blank slate. It don't mean nothing. In his original letter, which he described his sibling as a jaded, shallow, conceited woman, as quite possibly the biggest mistake of Harry's life, essentially. And, it's so interesting because we've had a lot of people come out and speak out about Harry's relationship with Meghan. They're saying the same thing that Thomas Jr. has said in his letter. Time is only going to tell whether or not this is going to be the biggest mistake for Harry. But as we can see, it's already looking like that from the things that we've seen. So he goes on to say that I truly love you guys and I want you to know that about me. I wish you, Meghan and Harry, Archie and Lily the happiest, most loving life possible. Sincerely, your big brother, Tom. So during the episode, Thomas was also reportedly asked what it was like growing up with the Duchess, with the Big Brother VIP, claiming that it was fun and that Meghan's first nickname as a child was Flower. And in her bedroom, she had these really, really decorative colored flowers all over her crib. And when she would wake up, that would be the first thing that she would see, he recalled. And he also talked about the star's apology comes from after he previously had claimed in his previous letter to Prince Harry that the Duchess was obviously not the right woman for you, and that he was confused as to why the royals didn't see the real Meghan that the whole world now sees. Now, at the time, Thomas, who had not seen his sister since 2011, had expressed dismay over a lack of invitation to the royal family. There's this relationship there, but then she knows that she's never going to speak to this side of her family ever again. And Thomas Jr. is thinking that she's completely shut us out like dirt on a shoe. How would that make you feel? How would that make you feel if someone that you knew growing up your whole life and then they go around out in the media and be like, I don't know you. Who you? Oh, that picture? That was a long time ago. I don't know you. How would that make you feel? Think about it. What kind of person does that? When do you stop to think it's wrong? That behavior is wrong. To act like you don't know somebody and to completely dismiss their existence is an insult. That is so insulting to someone to know who they are and to, on the world stage, say, I don't know you. Do you know how embarrassing that is to the person who has to now walk through life being dissed and dismissed by someone who is famous, that they all of a sudden say they don't know you? What he said, I'm sure he could still own what he says, or he should, and just be like, yeah, I said it. I'm sorry I said it, but what I said was true. It's not that backtracking now to say, oh, you're so nice, I love you, I remember when. That right there does not help the situation at all. Of course, you could have said you loved your sister in the first letter and still call out her behavior. You can still love your sister and call out the shallowness of their behavior, because it's unexcusable to know someone, to grow up with them, and when you get on the world stage, you just be like, I don't know you, leave me alone. That's wrong. And this is what brings me to my next point, because there seems to be this dichotomy between, right and wrong, and people tend to want to always be the victim, and I don't think you can even get past trying to get over hurt or to get over things that you might be suffering through until you start to accept for yourself, I'm wrong about something, or you start to not make yourself be the victim. That's the problem. And that's the issue with Sarah Ferguson. So she seems to think she's been the most vilified woman in the world, the whole world. No, you were a woman married to a man and got caught with your pants down, with your foot in another man's mouth. That's what happened. So rather than saying that you feel like you've been the most vilified, why not humble yourself to, I behave poorly. I don't blame the royal family for what they did to me, or how they wanted to not have anything to do with me, or to not let me come around. Why not use that as your reason? And then she goes on to say that she's been in Meghan's shoes. And I still am, she said. I abhor bullying, and I feel desperately sorry for the pain they must be going through, because I've been through it. They have not been through no pain. They are causing pain. So what is Sarah Ferguson talking about? You see how people try to muddy the waters and try to make it look like, when they do something wrong, they got to try to suddenly be like, well, shoot, why y'all being so mean to me because I did what I did? No, you have to start saying, I was wrong. No one is bullying Meghan. Okay, maybe there are people that are doing it on the extreme level because they're just mean people. But when you get to the core of the issues that we are talking about, no one is bullying anyone. People are calling out bad behavior. And if Sarah, Duchess of York, doesn't want to call out her own bad behavior, she doesn't want to call out Harry and Meghan's bad behavior, but she just wants to still be the victim. How does anyone respect that? How can anyone get past what you have done to forgive you if you can't even take ownership for what you have done?
Not to mention the time she tried to sell access to the royal family.
So there is a big cross between trying to understand when someone is a victim and when someone is behaving badly. Like, you can't get those two things confused, because you're not a victim if you willingly do things that are wrong and hurtful to other people. You in your behavior are the bully. Your lack of judgment is bullying, because you are causing distress to your loved ones. Let's not get it twisted, Miss Sarah Ferguson, Duchess of York. You have done things that are wrong, and you should have been ostracized for the things that you have done, and you need to apologize, and you can move on once you start to look deep within yourself about how you have behaved badly. And don't give excuses to Harry and Meghan for them behaving badly, because there's no excuse for what they've done to their own respective families. There's no excuse for it. So Sarah, Duchess of York, stop trying to give excuses to people when people call out bad behavior.
And in reference to the news story that I did about William and Kate's marriage, this was news that was published on the 5th of December of this year. by Express News. Charlie Bradley reported on this, and the news was about William's lifestyle as it related to the 2007 report, which had highlighted the tough year for William and Kate. Now, in 2007, they had a daunting relationship which had attracted a lot of media attention. Several newspapers reported about William's behavior and how it affected Kate. This year, the Queen has allocated William and Kate the duty of organizing the charity Christmas Carol service at Westminster, and also the Cambridges celebrated 10 years of their marriage. This news has refreshed the talks of William and Kate's relationship in the past, and the many news platforms and writers commented about their past and how things changed following the year of 2007. So we can see they had some tough times where Kate really had to call William out for his actions and how his behavior was making her look bad. But I am happy to say that their marriage is going strong. They have overcome some of the different hardships that they had when they first started dating in their younger years, and wishing them a very happy 10 years of marriage with many more years of happiness to come. Bye, you guys.